although we love to share stories in assembly, nothing was sent to me by God this time in terms of a story. But I walked into the library the other day when we were having our staff meeting, and one book caught my eye. Now, at Ambleside schools, we also value nature and nature observation, and we believe that God can reveal ideas to us through his creation as well. So many of you have seen this book before. It's called Mallard Duck and Meadowview Pond, at Meadowview Pond. Okay, all right. I know many of us in the younger grades, maybe older children when you were in grade 1 or 2, you would have taken out this book. So let's jump in. I thought the pictures were just so beautiful that I put them on a slideshow here that we could just enjoy together. So let's just see, is that clear? Maybe we just, there we go. All right. Okay, so we're going to listen nicely, and I'm going to ask a few questions every now and then maybe, but we can think the answers in our heads. Okay. All right. So, near the yard of the farmhouse at Meadowview Pond, over the fence and down the gentle slope where meadow and water meet, a mallard hen sits on her nest. Her earth-colored feathers hide her in the brush and grasses from the crows and raccoons that eat eggs. Inside the 8 creamy tan eggs that the mallard hen has warmed and guarded, there is now sound and movement. Only she hears the duckling chipping his way out of his smooth porcelain shell. Now, something that I found quite interesting was that only the mother hears the chipping away at the egg and the little peeps that the baby makes. But she lets the baby struggle. Why? The twisting, pushing, and kicking required to break through the shell strengthen the muscles a duckling needs to walk, swim, and forage immediately after birth. But she's still there watching over them. Seven more ducklings hatch during the day. Each uses its egg tooth like a little hammer to peck its way out of its smooth, hard shell. By day's end, exhausted by their effort, 5 male and 3 female ducklings huddle under their mother, peeping sleepily. The next day, the firstborn mallard and his 7 siblings waddle behind their mother as she leads them to the warm, shallow water of the pond. The ducklings do not need swimming lessons. They paddle right off behind their mother while she checks her brood for stragglers. They enjoy time together learning, and then she takes them to the rapids. Okay, so if we can have a look at the next picture here. So there they are enjoying the water, the shallow waters, before they head off to a river where there's rapids. And for many of us who have seen a river flowing before, the rapid water is crashing into rocks and flowing down waterfalls. And so it's quite an ordeal for these little ducklings. But why does she take them there? The mother duck will carefully survey the water and choose the correct path. She often positions herself to block the strongest currents, but it's good for their further safety that they learn how to navigate such waters. Okay, next slide. Their brown and yellow down makes the ducklings look like yellow pond lilies. While the ducklings were hatching, insect eggs were also hatching, making enough food for the ducklings to eat. A nearby hawk sees food. It circles and swoops down toward the ducklings. The mother duck stretches her neck and sees the danger. Quickly she hides her brood in the weeds and reeds along the shore. She moves away, flapping her wings, splashing water, and quacking loudly. She rises up, then drops to the water again and again, one wing bent at an angle to look like it is broken. This commotion distracts the hawk from its prey. It gives up its chase and flies away. You can go on to the next slide. The brood is safe from the hawk, but a greater danger lurks as the ducklings come out of their hiding place. A snapping turtle has been watching and waiting underwater, partly hidden in the mud. Now it snaps at the last duckling in line. The little ducks scatter out of the turtle's reach as the mother hurries her brood to land. They are all safe for now. So we see in this book here and in these pictures that the mother protects and hides her babies from deathly threats. Mallard hens are known to be intensely protective mothers that fiercely guard their eggs and ducklings. If a predator approaches them, she will fake an injury, flopping and squawking away from the ducklings to lure the threat toward herself. Then, when in the water, she will aggressively chase off, bite, or dive at intruders, even large birds that get close to her young. On the shore, the mother duck nestles her young while she watches for foxes or skunks, ready to spring out of the tall grass. A chilly rain begins to fall. The mother duck spreads her wings to keep her ducklings dry and warm. So when I was reading this book and having a look at these pictures, some verses from our Bible came to my mind. And so I thought we could just reflect on each part that we've had a look at today and think about what ideas God has revealed to you, perhaps, through the story. So if we think about the first picture of the mother bird on her nest, what comes to mind? We heard about how the babies chip away at the eggs and the mother watches over them. She doesn't help them get out of the eggs, but she's right there for if they need her protection. And so a verse that came to my mind was Deuteronomy 31, verse 6, which says, as the great one said this morning, be strong and courageous, although yours was from Joshua. Do not fear or be in dread of them, for it is the Lord your God who goes with you. He will not leave you or forsake you. Another verse that came to mind was Isaiah 43. When you pass through the waters, I will be with you. And when you pass through the rivers, they will not sweep over you. Then we saw some pictures of some of the threats that came the ducklings' way. We had a hawk and we had a snapping turtle. Some verses that came to my mind then when I was looking at those pictures and how God is like, well, much better than, but similar to the mallard mother. Psalm 46, verse 1, God is our refuge and strength, a very present help in trouble. Psalm 91, verse 4 says, He will cover you with his feathers, and under his wings you will find refuge. His faithfulness will be your shield and rampart. Now, as we had a look at some of the pictures there and we thought about the words that were shared, I was just thinking about how God had made those ducklings so intentionally, how he had designed their beaks to filter water and receive food through the water, how he had put that little egg tooth on the end of the baby duckling's beak that eventually goes away just so that they could break through their egg, how they could paddle straight away as they entered the water. They didn't need the swimming lessons. They didn't have to think about where their food was coming from. And so a verse that came to mind for me was Psalm 104, verse 24. How many are your works, Lord? In wisdom you made them all. The earth is full of your creatures. Matthew 6, verse 26, many of us know. Look at the birds of the air. They do not sow or reap or store away in barns, and yet your heavenly Father feeds them. Jesus ends with a question. And now this question I'm going to ask, does anyone know what Jesus, including teachers, what he says at the end? He says, are you not much more valuable than they? And so as we reflect on the idea of this little duck, the mallard hen and her babies, and how through instinct they know what to do. They don't need to think about it. They don't need to think about where their food comes from, how to do things, how to protect their young. God has designed us as intentionally, if not more. And he loves us dearly. And he provides for each one of us. And so may we go into today remembering that God has made us for a purpose. He's made us just the way we're meant to be. He talks to us and he protects us. Let's close our eyes.